I was always like, okay, so the penitent man kneels, but why does the penitent man somersault?
Welcome to Tairimo Boys Podcast. I'm your host, Cody. With me in second chair is the boy who's about to start another crusade. It's Jeremy.
I'm ready for
I think everyone's ready for it.
it. We've been ready for it.
With me in third chair is the boy who chose poorly. It's Ryan.
Wrong cup on Ryan.
Uh-huh. My face looks like it does.
All right, boys. It's time for the yearly, even though we've only been doing this for 2 years, Indiana Jones review.
Figure the timeline out for yourselves, people.
So every 6 months.
Pretty much.
This is the fourth Indiana Jones review we've done. The only one we haven't done is Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So today we've got some Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. This movie came out in 1989, 2 hours and 8 minutes long. Smash hit in the box office because everyone loved Indiana Jones by that point. 48 million budget, 474 million. And Ryan, do you remember when this used to be the second worst Indiana Jones movie?
I do.
The good news is that it's still the second best.
Yes. I had to think about that for a second, but yes.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and Dial of Destiny kind of moved it up in ranks. But boys, here we are. For the 5 people who've never seen this movie, we continue with the Indiana Jones original trilogy before they made it whatever the 5 thing is.
There are 5 movies?
You know damn well there's 5 movies. You pretend they don't exist all you want.
And I'm going to continue to do so. Thank you.
But in this one, Indiana Jones is looking for the Holy Grail, so he travels across the world in order to find it. So Jeremy, what are your first thoughts on the movie?
What's not to love about it? It's Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford, Sean Connery. I mean, it's a fun indie adventure.
Ryan, first thoughts?
Come on. We all know what I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah, we know it.
Second greatest movie of all time.
I knew it was coming.
But when you cross-reference the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle review, see if he said number 2 then.
I said 6. I remember that review. I was a little afraid there for a second. I was like, did I say that was the second greatest movie of all time?
But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this movie, is it as good as Raiders? Like, no, but it's still a pretty damn good movie. And I'm kind of going to be a bitchy boy here, because like when you...
What we do.
Yep. When you look at this movie under a fine microscope, or however that saying goes, you start to see the flaws in it. Now, here's the thing about this movie. I really feel like Spielberg and Lucas were really trying to expand on like the extended Indiana Jones universe.
Oh, definitely.
Because this is really the first time we hear, well, we don't hear, we see his backstory. We see he's like, oh, how'd you get your whip? How he got his fear of snakes? How he got a scar? Ryan, didn't you give yourself a scar with a whip?
No, I gave myself a scar with a scope of a 30-06.
Close enough, then.
Oh.
I did that with the 308 once.
I did, as I said in the Raiders review, take a whip it on the top of my basketball goal, tried to climb it, and then broke it and nearly fell on my ass. That's as close as I got to a Harrison Ford scar.
Fair enough. Now, Ryan, I know you used to be a fan of like the spin-off TV show, The Young Indiana Jones Adventures. Jeremy, did you ever see it?
Yep.
Not that I recall. I don't think I have.
Ryan, was the show any good? Like, I remember watching a few episodes when I was a kid. I think you were probably watching them, but I don't remember anything of the show.
As a biased individual, I like them. However, they were more like educational history lessons than Indiana Jones fare. It was more like a vehicle for education, like history education. So it only went like, I think 1 or 2 seasons, and it crashed and burned.
I like that idea, though.
Yeah. He always met famous historic individuals in every episode, almost every episode.
Oh, hold on. Name some of these.
Let's see. I think he met Charles de Gaulle. He roomed with Ernest Hemingway. He like roomed in college with Ernest Hemingway. Teddy Roosevelt.
Okay, so it was like people like around like Indiana Jones time. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, he went on an African safari with Teddy Roosevelt, I believe.
I'm assuming they went and killed a bunch of stuff.
Probably. Actually, I gotta read that. I have that comic sitting on my bookshelf. They did we call it a comic adaptation of the episode. And I think they do. They do kill something
Well, I mean, that's Teddy Roosevelt for you.
for kids.
I have to go look for this comic book now. Bookbins I go.
So Ryan, basically what you're saying is that it's not like this movie where you get like a really awesome like chase sequence, cross train, and all that.
No, I don't think so. You get like a horse chase with Pancho Villa in the first episode. I think.
So
I don't think it's nearly as exciting as the train sequence.
Well, we got plenty of horse chases in this movie.
Yes, we do.
By the way, do you know who I think made his debut? Maybe he made his debut. Comment section, let me know. His acting debut in the show. No Time to Die's own Daniel Craig.
Really?
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. I don't know if it was his acting debut, but he was in the show. He did a guest star in the show. So did Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Ooh.
And the man himself, Harrison Ford, was in one episode.
Yeah, we talked about this during, what was it, Dial of Destiny?
Yep.
Yeah, where it was like the final episode is like an older Indiana Jones. He had like an eye patch, and then we started talking like, oh, that means he lost his eye after Dial of Destiny.
Yep.
But I mean, anyways, before we got derailed by talking about the show, like the movie starts off where we were learning about like young Indiana Jones.
Are we gonna review the show like 2 years from now?
Well, we're eventually gonna run out of Indiana Jones movies. That's sooner rather than later.
Serious boys, here we come.
You know
I'm
what?
down.
Although we probably review Fate of Atlantis before that.
I'm down.
Jeremy, you still need to play Fate Atlantis and Furry Hitler too.
I am not playing Furley Hitler, god damn it.
Like your Steam games. I work hard to buy you those Christmas presents.
Every goddamn year. I'm amazed what these people can think up, rather.
Furry Nazi sex sells.
Okay, Christ, what kind of fucking creeps play Steam games? Jesus.
Oh, here's your little fun fact, and Ryan, you may know this, but whenever one of the villain characters that's chasing young Indy gives Indy like the fedora that he's known for, in the original script that was supposed to be Marin's like dad.
Abner Ravenwood.
Yep.
Yep.
But they ended up changing it to a random guy.
That's interesting. They should have kept it with Marin's dad. That would have been more fun.
Yeah, it would have been interesting. Get their backstory. Eventually, Indy bangs his daughter when she was the young age of like 15. Okay. Indy's sleeping with a lot of his students. I'm just going to say that. We've discussed this in their other reviews, but it's especially obvious here.
Oh, you know he's banging them.
The school's not stepping in. I guess that was appropriate at the time.
Don't know. I don't want to know.
These movies are more compelling as they are instead of watching him go to jail for 2 hours.
Got to keep that script flowing.
Indiana Jones and the drop soap.
Damn it, I was going to make a drop soap joke.
Okay, there we go. Oh, by the way, Ryan, in the train scene, whenever he gets in like the magic box, was it ever explained how he got outside the train by getting in that thing?
No, I always wanted to figure out that magic trick. That's the one thing that bugs me in that whole scene.
Yeah, me too. I try not to pay attention to it too much, but yeah. It's like, how the f*** did he get out of the train? And why is he running on the tracks? He's going to trip.
I kind of wrote it off as like whenever the guy was checking the back, he kind of slipped out the side and out the door and jumped off. Thinking too much into it. If you want to dissect problems with the movie, go for other scenes. Now, Ryan, what do you think about the villain in this movie? More, I guess, villains.
Specifically Donovan?
Yeah, well, he's the main villain, and then you got Elsa.
Let's see. Starting with Donovan. I actually really like Donovan as a villain. He's not as compelling as Belloc from Raiders. I don't mind him. I like that there was a twist where he starts out, you think he's a good guy, and it turns out he's a traitor. Elsa is fine. Like, the finest of indie girls. I guess that's what you'd call them. They have a name. Indie girls.
Yeah. We'll go with indie girls because that's like Bond. Well, it actually probably be Jones girls. Indie girls.
Jones girls.
Yeah, indie girls sounds better, honestly.
So yeah, she's the finest of indie girls. It's too bad she turned out to be a Nazi. Always Always the cute ones.
Jeremy would still hit her. Put some fox ears on her.
Yeah.
Oh, f off. I'll stick my dick in crazy. I'm not sticking in fucking psychopaths.
Oh, I'd fuck her. That you had that
John
scene.
Connery's character did.
Yeah. Indy got sloppy seconds. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yep.
You got that scene where she's wearing like that nightgown. You can see her nips through it. No, we don't get boob bonanza, but still.
Unfortunately. But goddamn,
Also,
if there
as
was a
character,
boob
she was
bonanza to
very
be had,
interesting.
it'd be her.
So also as a character, she's very interesting. But let's go back to how hot she is.
I mean, that's whenever you have like a femme fatale kind of character that betrays like the group, you kind of got to make her hot.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to take this moment to apologize to the actress for constantly snickering every time I say her real last name.
Duty.
Yep.
There's your childish humor for the day, folks at home.
Boy, I would have changed her last name in a
Welcome.
heartbeat.
Jeremy, what were your thoughts on the villains?
Nazi shenanigans. But yeah, I don't have anything more to add than what Ryan said.
Yeah,
I just gonna double down on how hot fucking Elsa was.
yeah, they were both really compelling villains. They both turn out to be traitors in different ways, and you really don't get a good fight with Donovan. Well, I mean, not even Elsa has a good fight because they kind of get themselves killed.
They do.
Elsa has a fight with gravity.
And she lost. Spoiler, by the way. Sorry.
I hate her death scene. I'm just gonna say it because you could tell how she's getting ready to fall like a mat.
Cody, this was the early 80s. This was the best we had.
That's why I'm not complaining about like the take Nazis death. Oh, speaking of villains, Ryan, has it ever bothered you like the Fez guys?
You mean the Brotherhood of the Cruciform Sword?
I think that's their name.
Yep.
The Fez guys. Okay, I'll just they suck because I'm guessing they're well, I'm not guessing. They literally say like, oh yeah, we protect the Holy Grail, except for whenever Indy captures one of them.
For 2,000 years.
Yeah, whenever Indy captures one of them, it's like, oh, okay, just let me off at the next stop, and I'll let you go. I'm not doing much protecting, and they kind of show up later and
don't do much protecting. Also,
yeah, they get killed by all the like soldiers.
Just gotta say, the Fezzes were really bad shots. They took a lot of bullets there. It was a squad wipe in less than a few minutes, and they had the high ground.
Oh, by the way, Ryan, I don't remember if I ever asked you this, but does X ever mark the spot?
In archaeology, no, it does not.
Okay, well, this movie says, it says both things.
It says X never marks the spot, and then 5 minutes later,
marks the spot.
You know how badly I have wanted to go to an old library and constantly hit their floor with something?
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Like, shit. That'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, man.
Yeah, until you have to swim through petroleum and a sea of rats.
I did when I was a kid. I really laughed hard at that scene when it cuts between Indy hitting the floor and the guy stamping the books.
Honestly, like anytime I see those like rope barrier things, I always think about that scene.
Yep. I know we played, I know we played Fave Atlantis. Did we ever play Last Crusade?
Okay.
Did we ever play it at my house?
I don't think
I had it.
I don't think so, but I've played it on my own, and I know that scene is a pain in the ass because it's the digital rights management for the game. Like it's not go and hit it X. It's do this complicated puzzle, and you're gonna get thrown in jail if you screw it up too many times, which requires it's pretty much a game over.
Yeah. I
also know you can punch Hitler in that game.
Yep.
That gets you a game over right there. Okay, time to ask the question. Boys, what books were being burnt?
Anything religious?
That is incorrect.
I actually don't know.
Well, Ryan, it's time for you and the audience at home to learn something. The only books the Nazis actually burned were pornography and transgender research.
Oh, in real life, not in the movie.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about that movie scene. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Sorry.
No,
sorry. Proceed.
Well, I still wouldn't have done that. But still.
Yeah, that's real life. Hitler would have realized whenever he ended up getting the Grail Diary, what he had, he would have thumbed through that. He would have definitely arrested Indy and then gave that to some of his men to start hunting for the Holy Grail. So there you go.
Jeremy, do you have a book you can get autographed by Furry Hitler?
Oh my God. Cody's got it. I'm sure it's going to be in the mail soon.
Well, like I said, this Christmas it's Harley Quinn fart comics.
Oh my god. It's better than Furry Hitler. And whatever else you've sent me over the last several years. I have PTSD when Christmas comes around. I'm like, oh Lord, what is this notification on Steam? Oh god damn it. Got me again.
Nobody celebrates the true spirit of Christmas.
One, the spirit of giving, and two, the reason for the season is pleasing. By the way, Ryan, Indy says something like in the classroom. He's like, archaeology is like fact, not truth. What the hell does that even mean?
Now that I'm older, I'm gonna tell you. You ever hear like people nowadays talk about their truth?
Yes,
And
unfortunately.
their truth is not even close to accurate.
Hmm.
Whereas a fact is something you can like scientifically verify. That's how I choose to interpret that line.
So something solid versus a perceived truth.
Right.
Well, I mean, when you have a fact, you got the truth. Okay. Yeah, Ryan, what you're saying does make sense. Okay.
Right. That's all I got.
Hey, it works for me.
For instance, it is a fact that Elsa is fucking hot. Sorry. It's gonna be a rough review for me.
Well, yeah, she was definitely the hottest indie girl.
Mm-hmm. Tis a fact.
Also, wasn't the cinematography amazing in this movie?
Oh, definitely. Sets were amazing
For its
too.
time, absolutely. I mean, it still holds up well today.
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple scenes you can tell were obviously green screen, but other scenes were. I mean, all the sets were beautiful, put together well. And I was actually thinking about that when I was rewatching this movie. I'm like, the amount of time that had to go into setting up these or getting these sets up. There's a lot of detail in almost all of the scenes, if not all of them. So I have some mad respect for the cinematography in this movie.
Oh yeah, like read up on like the temple scene where they built that whole temple in a studio and it had like hydraulics under it to resemble like the cracking. Anytime they messed up the hydraulics, it took like 20 minutes to reset the whole thing and stuff plaster back in the cracks. And I think whenever everything was all said and done, they had to like throw that whole thing out and do the scene separately because they weren't getting the results they were wanting.
Wow, that's insane. And then just put yourself in the shoes of the actors at the time. Like, how cool would it be to be on sets like that? You know, nowadays everything's CGI, but to be on a set like that, I would imagine it would make it easier for the actor to be like, get in the character and get in the zone, be like,
Yep.
I'm here, I'm doing this, versus,
Yeah.
you know, you're in a suit or something like that, and there's a screen behind you you're just pretending is there.
I always feel bad when actors talk about having to act in like blue or green screen, not a physical set. Like, man, you must feel ridiculous.
Right? Just an empty room, you're in a suit, some sort of suit, a screen behind you, and you have to use your wildest imagination.
Yeah. Except for the volume. I guess the volume that they use in The Mandalorian. It's like it projects the environment. I guess that's a little bit better.
I'd say that's a little bit better, and I didn't know they did that for
Yeah.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah. But when it's a blue or green screen, it's just like,
Yeah, so mad respect for that time.
yeah.
They don't make movies like they used to. And like I said, $48 million budget. How much was Dial of Destiny? Like 100 and something million?
Oh,
I
probably.
think it
At
was
least.
200 and something million.
Hold on, let me look it up.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 295 to 387.
Ooh.
Good Lord.
Did you talk about in the Raiders review how Spielberg purposely like made the budget small so that he could rein himself in? Because he would balloon budgets for his like past movies. So he purposefully like made Raiders for I think what 60 million or something or 20 million, and then it became a huge hit. And then like the other ones kind of gently increased in budget, and then you get to Dial of Destiny, and they're like all the money.
For a shit movie.
Yeah, Raiders was 20 million, so this was...
Was it 20 million?
Yeah, this was like 2.5 times the budget.
Jesus.
But you got to remember too, Dial of Destiny had so many reshoots, and then people were saying that the original script had like Indy get wiped out of existence.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, me
I
too.
wonder why I forgot about that.
All right, boys, time to ask the question. What was your favorite scene? Jeremy, go ahead.
Probably towards the end. Well, no. The balloon scene.
The balloon.
Excuse me, the blimp.
Okay. I was like, you mean the
Yeah,
balloon?
the balloon. Yeah, the Nazi balloon. Yeah, when Indy punches the Nazi out the window and he yells at the boarders, "No ticket!" And they all hand up their tickets really fast. That, and then I like the little throwback to Raiders when Indy and Elsa pass the portrait,
Yeah,
and
the
she's like, "What's this?" The Covenant of the Lost Ark. It was a portrait of the Covenant of the Lost Ark, and he's like, it's the Lost Ark," and she's like, "How do you know? Are you sure?" Something like that, and he's like,
I know.
"I'm pretty sure." Yeah, I love that little throwback.
Yeah.
Those are my two favorite scenes.
Wait till we get to the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull callback. Are you gonna like that one?
Oh.
Ryan, what about you?
All of them.
Choose one.
If I had to choose one, and that's a toughie. I know it's not a character and plot, but I really love the fight with the Colonel on top of the tank because, I love the music in it. I love the fight. I love how the fight ends. I love the little button where he climbs up the cliff and everybody thinks he's dead, and then he just kind of goes over to the cliff with him and looks over. I like that one. I'll do three. Choosing the Grail, that whole thing, that whole sequence, and crashing the castle to meet his father. Those are my three.
Yeah.
Fair.
But also the rest of them.
Everything else.
Yeah.
The whole movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the tank scene too, because it's a really long fight, and it's realistic. Would I be able to take on that whole scenario? Probably not. But you gotta wonder, why weren't they just shooting more? But the stuff you've got the fight going on inside the tank with Marcus and Sean Connery and Indy just fighting like the Nazis outside of it. Such a good fight.
It is. It's a really fun scene.
I also like the scene where the Sultan wants their car instead of all the treasure. That's such a silly thing. And something else this movie does well that I want to mention, it has really good foreshadowing.
I can agree.
Because especially early in the movie, you see the picture on Sean Connery's wall of the invisible bridge thing,
the old leap of faith.
Yep, and then someone mentions "Oh, do you think the ground's gonna fall out beneath you or something like that?" And then that's what happens literally at the end of the movie. All right, you know what we're gonna do today?
Boys in action.
Not just
Unfortunate Nobu Bonanza.
Yeah, well, it's not just boys in action, but it's a very special boys in action.
Ooh, adding rules to it.
Well, not rules. It's gonna be segments. So it's time for
How many scenes we die in?
It's a special boys in action, not boys not in action or whatever the hell I called it during the Mission Impossible review. All right, so boys in action. So we'll start off with the normal one. So Jeremy, if you were in this movie, where would you die?
When I fell into the snake pit, that cobra would have just struck me right in the face.
I don't even think are those water snakes even that aggressive.
Which one? The one he fell into?
The one you're talking about, yeah.
Oh no, there was a cobra, wasn't it? Didn't it flare its hood? Pretty sure that was a cobra.
I think it was some kind of boa constrictor or something. Ryan, you're the Last Crusade expert.
That was a cobra, right?
Actually,
because boas don't
I
hiss.
want to say it's a cobra, but now everybody's got me doubting myself.
Well,
pretty sure it was a cobra. First of all, it had fangs. I remember that specifically.
All
boas
snakes
don't
have fangs. Yeah, they do.
Oh, they got teeth. A boa has teeth. Look it up. The recurve.
Have fangs. Oh.
See? The recurved teeth.
Okay, hold on. Snake in Last Crusade.
There we go.
No hood.
No hood. But it had fangs.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then obviously it's venomous. So it would have struck me in the face.
It
has fangs, it's venomous.
It has really goofy fangs, though.
Well, yeah, it's 1983.
Yeah, cheap prop fangs.
You could tell when the thing popped up. Wait, how many times are we going to die in this? Because I die in this a lot. Okay, so that'll be the first time I died.
Well, okay. Then the Indiana Jones movie says Anaconda, which is a constrictor.
But they gave it fangs.
Yeah, well, I don't think they were that great of.
Again, in 1983, whatever. I'll write that one off.
All right, Ryan, what about you?
Jeremy, puckered when you said your answer. When the lion
Okay.
takes me out.
Fair.
That scene still makes me pucker every time I watch it. Even though it happened in 1989.
Well, I'm glad you boys made it to the train, because what would have happened with me would be whenever he finds like the tomb robbers or whatever they were stealing the stuff. I would have been caught like right away, and they would just shot me dead.
You got so nervous you farted up there spying on him?
But yeah, just thinking it over, that train scene's so intense. And you get the rhino too. Thing was a fucking death trap.
That was a very dangerous train.
All right, I'm gonna move on. So, second portion. Ryan, we'll start with you. The 3 booby traps in the temple. How far would you get?
Oh, Penitent Man. I wouldn't make it past the first one. Because I never understood it until, was it like 2 months ago? I was always like, okay, so the Penitent Man kneels, but why does the Penitent Man somersault?
I was thinking that.
I was thinking that too.
Never understood that till 2 months ago. I was like, I am so confused by that one.
All right, Jeremy, what about you?
I'm confused. If you guys are confused, I'm confused as hell. I would have died right there. I would survive the second, though. If I got that far, I would survive.
Morelli, you know how to spell Jehovah?
Yes.
In Italian.
How do you not think?
Oh, aren't you
in Latin?
Hold on, aren't you Jehovah Witness or something?
I grew up Jehovah's Witness.
Okay.
You know that. Viewers at home, I grew up with a religious background.
Okay.
I was Jehovah's Witness for like the first, 18 years of my life. So viewers were catching you up on this.
Okay.
So yes, I knew how to spell Jehovah.
Okay.
And also my dad loved that scene because he was a Jehovah's Witness until he died. And that was like that was his favorite scene. He's like, wow, they recognize God's name. That's what he would always tell me.
I have a question about that scene for both of you. Like legit. This is not me being like sassy or anything. So you know the first part of the scene where he steps on the wrong letter? He steps on the letter J.
Yep.
And he holds himself up. Doesn't he hold himself up on two wrong letters?
Yes.
Oh.
How come they didn't fall?
Wait, did he really? Because I kind of got like the feeling whenever I see that scene, he's like grabbing onto like the starting area.
Is he grabbing on the starting area?
I thought he was grabbing forward.
I thought he was grabbing to the side. Okay, never mind.
No, every time I've seen that scene, I imagine like the camera, like imagine he's like, imagine a rectangle that's you're looking down the long end. Well, whenever he falls, he turns around, grabs it, and then whenever you see below it, the camera is like on the far end.
All right, that makes sense.
Okay, I could see it.
Yeah, that way you get like
that
a
makes sense.
Scenic view. Now, as for me, I think I would survive all 3 traps. Now, here's the thing: who is maintaining the first trap?
True, you got to oil them bitches.
Yeah, it's like wooden wheels, and there's probably gears behind the scenes, and there's definitely rope. And I bet the saw blades need to be maintained. And the Grail Knight guy, I don't think he has the goods to be keeping that thing maintained. So by the time I get there, I think it would be either broken or you could sit enough people in there to die to eventually break the thing.
Well, you're also good at Dark Souls games, so you'd be able to do the dodge roll. You're a lot better than I am at it. So.
You saw our footage last week.
Okay, so you dodge rolled, you Dark Soul dodge rolled.
No,
make it to the second.
The thing's broken, so I just walk right through the second, and then like I do not know how the hell to spell Jehovah, but I kind of just brace myself and just kind of tap the letters, which are easy to crumble, until like just the important letters are left and get across that. And then the third one's like a joke. All you have to do is walk across that.
Or step your foot out.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, just brace yourself, step your foot. Like, oh, there's solid ground here. And I'm guessing, like, that Grail Knight's, like, sweeping that thing daily. That's why you can't see it. I don't even think the optical illusion would work in, like, a real life.
Sure looks damn good on a camera, though.
Yeah. Like,
you know, I'd change my answer. I'd die at all of them. I would die on the second one, too, because I would be, like, spelling his name out, and then I would get struck down. I'm not anti-religious by any means, viewers, but I am not religious in the slightest. So I would get struck down just for turning away. I'd die at all 3.
Okay, well,
Because the third one, I'd get vertigo as I tried to walk across that little last.
I was thinking that I'd kind of crawl across to on all fours. There you go. All right, time for the third question, boys. Starting with Jeremy, which Grail would you choose?
Honestly, I think I would have chosen the right one. I would have survived that.
Okay, I'm pressing X to doubt on that one, but whatever. Ryan, go ahead.
I probably would have chosen the same one Elsa did.
The one I would choose would probably be the one with the rubies on it. That's right next to the actual one.
Yeah, or that one. Yeah,
I was like, oh, this looks fancy. Honestly, you beat the night. The movie traps are done. Just grab all of them and leave.
yeah.
And leave. So walk past the seal that breaks everything. Well, I mean, they did casually walk out after.
I was
out.
getting to that. Just like it would be so easy to leave with that, unless like God's like smiting stuff down. Just take it and chuck that thing as far as possible across the seal and run.
Yeah, you know how rich you'd be with those fucking goblets? Some legit rubies and gold. And that old knight ain't gonna do shit, as we saw.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta dodge once.
Man hasn't had protein in 900 years.
Quick question. If you sell one of those false grails after that grail has crossed the seal, and the poor bastard that bought that false grail drank from it, he still die?
Ooh.
Yeah, do you need magical temple water, or what's the deal? Like I got
Or does it feel broken when you get past it?
the rules aren't very well explained. I just tell people not to drink out of the damn thing. Just melt it. Yeah, melt it down. We'll do science to figure out which one's the real one, and then we'll melt down the others. We'll have pigs drink out of like all of them. See which ones are.
Which one's turned to bacon and not?
All right, that was a very special poison action.
We did the whole movie almost.
All right, one last question for start past the topic. Boys, what do we think about Sean Connery's character?
Loved him.
Ryan, yeah, I was gonna say, Ryan, you got the lead on that one.
Loved him. James Bond, but not James Bond. But
I'll echo that.
Yeah,
I love Sean Connery. He's such a great actor to me, in my opinion. Like he commands presence when he's in the room, and you can tell. Like he puts his all into it. And the character was phenomenal.
Yeah, that was he kind of undermined. Like, okay, I'm saying this in a good way. He undermined Indy. Normally, that's a bad thing, but like him undermining Indy just shows Indy's like vulnerability, and Indy has daddy issues.
Yes, he does.
He has to get over in the movie. He's always trying to live up to him. And whenever at the end of the movie, when Indy's trying to grab the Grail, like I can reach it, and he's like he always calls him Junior, and then at that point, he's like, Indy, let it go.
Heartwarming moment.
Yeah, right before he's like, oh yeah, he named himself after the dog.
That was great. I forgot about that actually.
I always remember that scene and Fate of Atlantis with Sternhardt. It's like, Indiana, is that the name of one of your states or possibly a cat? And Sophia chimes in and is like, actually, it's the name of a dog.
I also love it when Sean Connery says Junior. Junior.
Yeah, great character. Ryan, would you have wanted him in Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls if they tried getting him?
Before I watched the movie, yeah, absolutely. After I watched the movie, I would say good call on his part, but his last movie was also League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, so
I was thinking about that movie the other day.
yeah. So yeah, I'm glad. I wish they would have. I think in one of our Indian reviews, we were talking about the Spear of Destiny. Oh yeah, in the Dial of Destiny review, we're talking about the Spear of Destiny comic books. That he's in that, and I wish they would have just adapted that instead.
Well, you know how modern Disney works. Whenever it's trying to make new stuff, just discard the extended universe.
Oh yeah, let me clarify. I wish Paramount had adapted that in 1992.
Fair enough. All right, Jeremy, pass the topic on to you.
Favorite character besides primaries?
Henchman number 32.
Okay, I'll just say primaries would be Indiana, his dad, and we'll say Elsa.
I mean, you just left like 2 or 3 characters after that, and Salah is really good. Marcus is funny.
That's why it makes it tough.
Yeah, because you eliminated all the choices.
Yeah, exactly. You have to pick from the bottom of the barrel. Okay, Salah wins.
I'm gonna go with Pat Roach, who expertly ran side by side to that other Nazi dude for a second, and got the rest of his scene cut.
I knew you were gonna make that joke. Viewers at home, the joke is, and we discussed this during our Red Sonja review, but Pat Roach used like the mechanic in the first movie and the big captain of the guard in the second movie wearing brown face. But he was supposed to have a fight scene on the blimp, but they cut it out due to time.
What a shame.
In all seriousness, solid, Marcus.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sala. Cody.
Yeah, I'll go with Salah.
All right, second question. Grail Knight versus Marcus. Who wins?
Oh, Jesus.
I'm upping the ante. Marcus can have a blunt weapon. He picks something up from the ground. Grail Knight has a sword.
You just gotta block the sword once, and the Grail Knight's done, or just dodge it. I mean, we saw he dodged. One dodge, and he's done. And like, if he's that weak, I don't think he's gonna swipe you that hard, even if he does hit you with it.
Well, he did. Didn't he cut Indy's shirt? Like he got close. That's a
I
tough
now
one.
want to see Marcus bop the knight on the head with that shell, like he did the dude in the tank.
That was what I kept picturing too when I said it. I'm gonna go with Marcus on this one. Grail Knight got close to cutting Indy, but his swing was a little slow still. What do you boys think?
Yeah, I just think the Knight's too weak.
All right, that's all I got.
All right,
Yeah, Marcus.
Ryan, best topic on to you.
Favorite geographic setting? Got Utah, a boat in the middle of the ocean.
Okay, the scene where he's trying to get it grab like the cross as an adult, and like the ship sinks. Like I always think is like, well, what happened after that? Was he like close to shore? Did another boat come and rescue him?
He pulled a Jack Sparrow. He got marooned on a rum smuggler's island.
But I mean, I honestly answer your question. I like the Utah. What are they called? Mesos or mesos?
Mesas.
Yeah.
Well, I'm absolutely terrified of deep water. I've got that phobia of it. So I'm going to go with Utah. Also because I'm partial to it because I love Utah.
Gotta go there. I want to climb that canyon that Tom Cruise climbs at the beginning of Mission Impossible 2.
Which canyon was it? Do you remember the name of it? I can't remember for the life
It was
of me.
Dead Horse. I think it was Dead Horse Canyon, but you can't really climb unless you're Tom Cruise. You don't have permission to climb that. But you can go like to Canyonlands, which is close in Moab. Go climb that. I'll just pretend I'm Tom Cruise there for Ethan Hunt.
Let's put that on the bucket list, boys. Tairimo boys go hiking.
Yeah. As far as location, I'm gonna go with Jordan, where the temple scene, at least the exterior was filmed. Maybe Venice too. I'm gonna go with Jordan.
Probably hot as hell.
Yeah, that'd be my strong second.
What'd you say, Cody?
No, it's probably hot as hell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, Ryan. Anything else?
I don't really want this review to end. So what else?
I want it to end because
keep it alive.
I'm the one who has to freaking edit it.
Keep it alive, Ryan. Keep it alive.
I got nothing else. I think we covered everything.
Yep. By the way, Ryan, what's that the world wonder called that the Grail was actually hidden in? It's got like a real name.
Patriot Treasury.
Is that what it's called? Okay.
Yeah.
I always love that place. It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We gotta go there too.
Yeah. Middle East, right?
We had a good run.
All right, Jeremy, final thoughts?
Fantastic movie. I love the original trilogy. Or excuse me, I love the only 3 movies.
Okay. All right, Ryan, final thoughts?
Second greatest movie of all time. Also, playing at my local movie theater for Father's Day next weekend. Guess what I'm gonna go see?
Oh, hell yeah. I hope that's playing at my movie theater. I'm checking right now.
Thunderbolts. No, I'm just kidding.
I did see that, actually.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go see it. No spoilers.
Please don't spoil it for me, guys.
As for me, second greatest Indiana Jones movie. Not as good as Raiders, but it falls close behind.
Mm-hmm.
If you like the Indiana Jones series, you'll definitely like this one. Great action, great characters, chicks hot as hell. Everything you want.
Great set pieces. Amazing movie.
Yep. All right, let's scale this bad boy. And it is time for this conversation again. So, of course, Indiana Jones scale, top of the scale is Raiders. So, Ryan, did you ever decide which is the worst movie, Doll of Destiny or Crystal Skull?
Oh God, probably Dial of Destiny. Even though I do like the beginning,
Yeah,
when he's young.
we talked about this during our review. Like the first 30 minutes is amazing. It's like, oh, I wish this was the whole movie.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you go to modern times, you're like, I don't like this movie. The ending, it's got some good concepts with it, with the Roman stuff, but it doesn't really go anywhere.
I've warmed up to Crystal Skull a little bit. So, yeah, I would say Dial's the worst.
All right, so the scale, Raiders to Dial. Where would you rank this movie, Ryan, even though we started with that?
We're ranking the
Right
two worst movies instead of the movies we watched.
Right under Raiders.
Right, Jeremy.
Okay. Second of all, I did find out The Last Crusade is also playing in my movie theater, so I will be seeing that as well.
Okay.
Third of all, second greatest indie movie of all time.
Yep. But we got to do the scale no matter what.
Yeah, we have.
At least we finally got Ryan to rank Crystal Skull and Dial.
Long-awaited answer.
I just want the audience to know really quickly. They both said second greatest Indiana Jones movie of all time. I said second greatest movie of all time.
Raiders is number one for him, by the way.
Go check out our Raiders review.
Check out all our reviews. Although Dial, that review ain't very good. It's one of our original ones, but we figured out our groove.
You've been warned.
Yeah. Whenever we put a playlist of all these together, it'll be the last one for two reasons. One, it is the last movie, and two, it's the worst one.
Agreed.
All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to another episode of Tairimo Boys Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell us all the things you love about Last Crusade. Don't forget to ring that motherfucking bell. Stay tuned for more episodes.